What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on my channel. Before we get started, if you drop me a like, comment and subscribe, that would be fantastic before we start the video. And we'll get straight into it. So I've got my Premier League predictions for this weekend. Gonna have a bit of a chat. Got a new managerial appointment for Manchester United just for 6 months, and then they're going to go head upstairs, and I think they're going to appoint somebody new. So we'll chat a little bit about that as well. If you see me look to the right, I've got the games next to me on my computer. If you hear an aeroplane noise in the background, that is my PC as well, sounding like an aeroplane. So we'll get straight into it. So the first game we've got is the Arsenal-Newcastle game. Newcastle's starting to look a bit better now, picking up some points, and they really probably need to from now on if they want to stay up. And I think the owner's going to have that sort of ambition as well. I've said this a few times now that in January they're going to spend money, and it's as simple as that. But Arsenal playing pretty good football at the moment, so I don't think this is where Newcastle is going to look to pick up points. So if I'm honest with you, I think that's probably it's got like a 2-1 written all over it. A bit of like St. Maximum joy. It's good to see Joel Linton getting a goal last week. Good finish as well, getting the draw, and really sort of. I mean, they got the draw. Who was it against? They got the draw against Brentford, which was really surprising. That surprised me. Brentford's starting to drop points now. They're still dangerous though, and I'm not looking forward to us playing them in a couple of weeks' time. They are a really difficult team to play against. So, but in this one, I got Arsenal versus Newcastle. I've got Arsenal beating Newcastle, and I've got it 2-1. I think it'll be pretty routine. Arsenal playing all right. I think they come off a loss actually. Yeah, the big loss against Liverpool, but in the end, it is what it is, and that's a Liverpool team that you can't really go into that game thinking you're going to win it. Liverpool, Southampton. Now, I want Liverpool to win, and I need Liverpool to win for Leeds. We need Southampton to drop some points here. We're trying to get as many teams below us as we can, obviously. But I think honestly that one's got like a 3-1 written all over it. Maybe even a 3-0. I think that Southampton don't really have the firepower to put a goal past Liverpool, and I think that'll be pretty simple, pretty stock standard. That Liverpool are really playing well after last year. You know, some people were debating whether it was injuries or whether it wasn't injuries, and sort of trying to make up some excuses for them. You know, it felt like excuses, like, oh yeah, injuries, but genuinely Van Dijk being injured and a few other injuries made a massive difference. And they're back this year with a bang, and they've got like a really they got a big point to prove. Whether they win the league, I don't know. It's going to come down to those playing against the other top 4 sides. But Liverpool back with a bang this year. I really enjoy watching them play as well. And in the Champions League, they won against Porto. Yeah, Porto. So just playing all around pretty well. Norwich versus Wolves. I mean, I think that's got the Wolves win all over it. Norwich picking up points again last week, picking up win, but yeah, I can't imagine. Wolves are playing pretty good football, so I can't imagine Norwich being able to pick up a point there. Norwich beat Southampton 2-1, which is disappointing because we probably should have beaten both. Should have beaten Southampton as well, but that was our poorest game of the year. Overall, yeah, I think that's maybe like a 1-0 because Wolves aren't attacking super great. I don't think they're playing well, but I don't think they're scoring heaps and heaps of goals. Who did they play last week? They only beat West Ham 1-0, which is a good result, and it is a West Ham team that's a good team. Who they had the week before? They lost to Palace the week before 2-0, but again, Palace are a good side, so they don't really concede all that many, and they've but they don't really score all that much either. So that's got like a 1-0, but I think it'll be one. They'll score one and then they'll sit back, like what they did against Leeds. They scored one, sat back, but obviously they conceded right at the last minute. Palace Villa. Now, that's an interesting game. Palace are a good team. I've been saying that. I completely underestimated them. And Villa have had the first win after a 6-game losing streak. I think it was a losing streak. They had the new manager bounce, that Steven Gerrard bounce, and they look pretty good. Getting that one goal, I think they only won 1-0 in the end. Let me just double check that one. So they only beat, where are they? Aston Villa. They only beat Brighton. They beat Brighton 2-0. I remember Brighton playing pretty well though. Sorry, it's been obviously It's been a couple of days since that's been on, nearly a week. But yeah, look, overall, after that game, I was pretty saw Villa play how I thought they were going to be this year. I know losing Grealish is massive, and the creativity side of things, it's hard to replicate what Grealish brought creatively. I think I got that right. But in the end, they got some good players they brought in, like Buendia, and there was a couple of players like Ings as well. He hasn't really had the chance to really show what he can do. So they've still got good players and replacements for the money they got for Grealish. I think that will be 2-1 to Villa. I think they'll keep it going. And I think Steven Gerrard will start steering the ship. Whether it goes downhill or not, I don't know, but we'll see. Leeds Brighton, I'll get a video up first thing in the morning tomorrow, that one for that one. So stay tuned for that one. Brentford versus Everton. So Brentford now on a bit of a losing streak. Everton, it'd be interesting because Everton's that team, for some unknown reason, I never, ever understand where they are on the ladder and what they're doing. If you could say to me any other team and I'd sort of have an idea, I'd say, oh yeah, around about here. Everton, I feel like I never actually watch their games on a weekend, but I do. It makes no sense. So Everton's form, wow. Loss, draw, loss. So loss, draw, loss. After the start they had, they've really gone downhill since then. That's really, really poor. So, look, Everton and Brentford both in a bit of a dull phase. Brentford have lost their last 4, so draw, loss. That's interesting. I don't know. For me, as a Leeds supporter, I want Brentford to lose that. I like Everton. I lived in Liverpool for 3 months, so I've got a soft spot for Liverpool and Everton. But I guess if I had to pick a side, it'd probably be Liverpool. My cousin goes for Liverpool. My uncle goes for Everton though, so I could go for either one. Mind if the cat jumps around? She's going a bit nuts at the moment. So mind that. I'd cut it out, but I can't be asked. Everton, I think Everton will get that one done. I think it's going to be like a 1-0 or like a 2-1 maybe. Maybe Brentford might get a goal. Yeah, Brentford's starting to fall off now after that start. So maybe they're not as good as what everyone said. Everyone said they're the next Leeds, or they're the new Leeds, and maybe not. We'll see. But they still got it's still a very good side, and I'm skeptical on that one. I don't think they've played very, very bad. The Newcastle game wasn't great though, if I'm honest. Man City versus West Ham. Let's be honest, it's Man City in it. 2-1. I think West Ham will have that moment of brilliance again because they seem to just do that all the time. It'll be, what's his name, Jarrod Bowen. But Man City are too good at the moment. It's weird to think they're not even top 2. I think they're third, aren't they? So no, they're second. Sorry, they're second, a point in front of Liverpool. Liverpool have 4 draws. So they're on the game behind Chelsea, and they're going to want to keep rolling that on. So I can't imagine that West Ham will get in their way. Look, it'll be a tough game, no doubt about it. But I don't think that they're going to pose much of a threat. I'm going to say 2-1. But if I was to pick a game from this weekend, that's the one that would be the upset. If I'm honest with you, that would be the one that's the upset. West Ham, I could see them winning at 2-1. So, Leicester versus Watford. I think Leicester got too much for them, but I wasn't that impressed by Leicester. I haven't been impressed by them at all in this year. Not playing up to their usual standards. I know that they are predicted to win this. A 59% chance win probability, 22% chance draw, 19% chance for Watford. This is on the Google search, but Leicester sitting 12th, won the last 2, which is promising. Whereas Watford have won 1, lost 2, 1, and then lost the last. So I think Leicester have too much. They attack too well. They've got players that are difference makers like your Harrison Barnes and your Jamie Vardy's, who is always having a party. I can't imagine that. I think Leicester City win that one. I think it'd be like 2-0. I think there might be 3-0. I don't think Watford can deal with a counter attack. I think Leeds are used to them, so they dealt with it a bit better. except for the Harrison Barnes wonder goal. Otherwise, we would have won that game. So, which is unfortunate. I think when you look at it, we've drawn 5 games this year that could have easily gone the other way, and we could be, 2 of those should have gone the other way. And we had a loss against West Ham that should be a point. So I think we could have easily been out of, somewhere around 12th, 13th, around the Leicester City area. But anyway, Burnley Tottenham, Burnley only won 1 game, 6 draws, 5 losses. Tottenham starting to find fault. They've got Conte there. I wasn't that impressed by him. We should have got a draw against them last weekend. Disappointed we didn't. A couple of cheap goals. We were all over in the first half. Went 1-0 up, and then a couple of I don't want to say luck. The second goal was luck, but it's going to happen when you got quality like Tottenham. But with Conte there now, it's hard to think that they won't continue rolling on and start steamrolling teams and enforcing Conte's brand of football, that 3-5-2 with the wing backs. I think they'll pretty much they'll come good now. So I think they'll beat Burnley. I think they'll beat them 2-0. And it'll be a pretty routine game in the end. But last but not least, the Chelsea-Man United game. Now, this one's the one that I'm really looking forward to because Chelsea fans are getting a bit cocky. They think there's going to be an easy win because they've seen Man City pants these guys. I mean, it was only 2-0, but it could have been way more. And obviously, they saw Liverpool drub them 5-0. Chelsea top the ladder, only drawn 1 game out of the last 5, and they've won the rest. And Man United sit in 8th with a loss, win, loss. So, obviously, the last game being the big smashing of by Watford. But when you think of that last 5, what was it? They lost to Liverpool, lost to Man City. They won. I can't remember who they beat, and then they lost the 2 after that, including Watford. So, yeah, in the end, that was the downfall of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But what I'll do is I'll get the name up, Ralph Ragnick. So they've brought this guy in as a 6-month sort of interim deal. He'll then move up into the front office for them. So, he's the ex RB Leipzig coach. I think he'll steady the ship. Don't know much about him, if I'm honest with you. But look, he comes with high praise in German football, so he can't be that bad. German football's, it's good football. So in the end, I think, I don't like the fact they're starting to ready this ship, and I don't know who they'll get in 6 months. Some people are saying Zidane. I would not be happy with that because I think, someone who's won 3 Champions Leagues in a row is obviously going to be very, very good, and I don't want Man United to be good. They've got the players there. Also, they've got Ronaldo, they've got Fernandes, who's probably not been up to his usual standards this year, barring the Leeds game. He hasn't been like that great, but overall, if I'm honest, my head tells me it's Chelsea going to win this game, and they're going to win it quite convincingly. It's, I got a feeling it's going to be like 3-0 because Chelsea on the scoring scale seem to be somewhere between Man United and Liverpool, but like the goal difference sort of shows that. Like, I mean, they've got better goal difference than Liverpool, but I think their defense is better. So Liverpool scored 5 more goals, so Chelsea's got 30 goals for, 4 against, goal difference 26. Man City's got 25 for, 6 against, 19 goal difference. Liverpool with the 35 goals, 11 against, 24 goal difference. So a bit more leaky at the back, Liverpool, and that's what I was sort of saying. But scoring wise, Liverpool are probably better going forward. But Chelsea are missing Lukaku, so that could all change. And Chelsea just set up so well. Tuchel's done wonders there, and it's funny seeing those managers that come in and make an immediate impact. Like, Klopp wasn't immediate, but he came in and you could see a difference in the way of how there was a tactic, and there was a philosophy, there was a culture change pretty much immediately. There was a real working class, hey, we're going to work for the fans, you're here to play football for the fans, and you felt that. And Tuchel's probably not as much that, but his is definitely just tactical. His tactical nous is up there. same sort of Pep Guardiola sort of situation. But it's so great to see these different styles of football. Liverpool, that heavy metal, gung ho, counter attacking, and constant relentless attacking, and get you on the counter as well. Hit you anywhere, but it's quick, fast paced, moving the football. Man City a bit more methodical, just play the ball around, find the opening, bang. So while they don't always score heaps of goals, but when they're on, hard to stop. Leeds sort of play the same sort of way, where sometimes I think we try to walk into the back of the net a bit too much, and I think Man City do that, but they have the quality of De Bruyne and players like that can just hit it from 30 yards and put it top corner if need be, or company back in the day. And Chelsea play like an in-between, where they play this good, slow build up, but then they sort of increase the tempo when they need to, and they play some good football. But Chelsea still feel like the unfinished article. Like, they don't feel like they're a complete team yet. Like, it feels like they're missing one or two pieces, and that's why I'm not too sure where they're going to be on the ladder. But it's scary that they're top, and I still don't know if they're complete yet. Like, they don't feel like complete like Liverpool did when they got a goalkeeper and a centre half in. The other thing about Liverpool is obviously the midfield didn't feel complete, but it felt good with Henderson, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho back in the day. But Man City feels very complete. You sort of don't know, except for a striker, where they were strengthened. Whereas Chelsea, there's some players there, like even Rudiger at the back. I think they could get a really world-class centre half in, maybe like a Koulibaly or something like that. They've still got Alonso playing at fullback. But geez, Chalobah's been really, really good. Reece James been fantastic. Like, who do you take to the World Cup if it was tomorrow? Would you take Reece James, or would you take? You take both Reece James and Alexander-Arnold, but who starts? Because Alexander-Arnold's been assisting for fun, and Reece James been scoring for fun. Like, some of those hits from Reece James has been unreal. So really good problem to have at the back there. Only thing is left back for England would be, and I know I'm going off topic here, but do you bring Chilwell in? I don't know. Now that Luke Shaw's not playing well, and it's sad because he was so good in the Euros, but unless he picks up form, it's scary that him and Maguire are both going to be pretty poor. But I think it'll be Chilwell on the left, and look, Maguire plays well for England, but he's just been so poor for United. And look, I think he notoriously starts off pretty sheepish, but he comes good. So. But anyway, I've blabbed on about things that aren't Premier League, blabbed on about England as well. So let me know in the comments below, who would you take, Reece James or Trent Alexander-Arnold? I'd be interested to see who you guys reckon, and let me know your predictions below as well for these weekend's results. I've sort of given some scores, but I like this sort of general chit chat. Just turn the camera on, have a look at the ladder. No, not too much editing, no bullshit. Just having a chat. About football, which we love. So I'll get the Leeds game out tomorrow. I'll try and have a bit of a chat about it, my lineup and things like that. And if you drop me a like, comment, subscribe, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and peace.